Water sludge disposal is an important factor to maintain a wastewater treatment plant properly. However, waste sludge and wastewater both contain good amount of recoverable nutrient. So, the purpose of this report is to expose roughly about the nutrient recovery from wastewater and represent the application which can apply to make comprehensive understanding on this topic.
However, during the nutrient recovery, problems also occur. First, phosphorus in the environment is of exhaustion. Second, end of waste. Third, manure market disturbed. Fourth, stratified. And fifth, heavy metal legislation.
There are some factors that may affect the rate of nutrient recovery from wastewater, which are initial nutrient concentration, light intensity, and extracellular pH. Initial nutrient concentration have a direct impact on nutrient removal. The amount of nitrogen and phosphorus ratio exists, often limiting the nutrient in substrate medium. Studies found that specific uptake rate of phosphorus increased with the initial concentration to converge to a constant value. Light intensity supplies energy to the algal cells. Studies found that nitrate removal was faster under continuous lighting than under diurnal illumination. For extracellular pH, the drastic changes in pH change the solubility of ammonium or phosphate that present in the substrate medium. The precipitation of phosphorus was induced by the pH values between 9 to 11.
Nutrient recovery by microalgae. Large amount of water used in agricultural, municipal, and industrial purposes resulting large volume generated. Excessive nutrient in the wastewater such as nitrogen and phosphorus may cause eutrophication and imbalance of the ecosystem. Hence, microalgae is proven to be efficient in removing nitrogen, phosphorus, and toxic metals. Nutrient from various wastewater streams. First, municipal wastewater. It has less nitrogen and phosphorus but have large amount of heavy metal. Next, agricultural wastewater. It rich in nitrogen and phosphorus because of animal diet, age, usage, productivity, management, and location. And last, industrial wastewater. Most industrial wastewater contain more heavy metal pollutants and less nitrogen and phosphorus. Mechanism of nutrient removal. In order to maximize nutrient removal from the mentioned wastewater stream by various species of microalgae, the mechanism of nutrient removal uptake should be thoroughly understood. First, carbon. Second, nitrogen. Third, phosphorus, and lastly, the other nutrients.
There are many applications of microalgae, such as human nutrient, animal nutrient, and in cosmetics.
Technique of nutrient recovery from wastewater. Firstly, nutrient recovery by biological organisms. Biological organisms such as microalgae, duckweed, wetland plants, and crops is dependent on the potential biomass group. Secondly, nutrient recovery by chemical process. 70 to 80% nitrogen and 50% phosphorus of domestic wastewater contained in urine. Urine treatment is process of change from fresh urine to hydrolyzed urine. And thirdly, hybrid approaches of nutrient recovery. Example of hybrid system is designed by coupling anaerobic fermentation and microbial fuel cell techniques with the conventional activated sludge process.
Several advantages and disadvantages of the main conventional method used for the treatment of the industrial wastewater. Firstly is the process of chemical precipitation. It is the uptake, the pollutant and separation of the product form. The advantage of this process is technologically simple, which is using a simple equipment and adapted to high pollutant loads. The disadvantage for the process is the chemical consumption, which is it use chemical consumption, which is lime and oxidants. Secondly, it requires an oxidation process if the metal are complex. The second process is coagulation and flocculation. It's uptake of the pollutants and separation of the product form. The advantage of this process is the process is simplicity. Secondly, inexpensive capital cost. And third, it is very efficient for suspended solid and collider particles. The disadvantage of coagulation and flocculation process, firstly, low removal of arsenic, and secondly, increased large volume duration that will increase the management treatment and the cost. Lastly is flotation process. It is a separation process. This process has several advantages, which is different type of collector, secondly, useful for primary clarifier, and thirdly, has low retention time. The disadvantage of this process is its energy cost, secondly, high maintenance and operation costs, and thirdly, high initial capital costs. Characteristic of nutrient recovery in wastewater. There are two key factors that driving the push of recovery of nutrient from wastewater. Firstly, eutrophication. Eutrophication is an increasing phenomenon in which excess nutrient in waterways foster algae bloom, which subsequently will create dead zone. Secondly, nutrient demand. It's an expanding global population is demanding more nutrient input than ever before, some of which finite or produced at great expenses.
In conclusion, wastewater is deemed a natural resource recovery of nutrients from sewage sludge means a sustainable approach through the use of appropriate technological options. It is important for us to tailor the relevant approaches and roadmaps to the local, original, geographical, or economic context. It is important